Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben.
And I'm Kay.
And today we are reviewing Starling, a Netflix original film.
After Lily suffers a loss, a battle with a territorial bird over dominion of her garden provides an unlikely avenue for her grief and the courage to heal her relationships and rediscover her capacity for love.
So this movie stars Melissa McCarthy, Chris O'Dowd, Kevin Kline, Timothy Olyphant, and David Diggs Schuyler.
I really enjoyed this film, although enjoyed is probably not the right word. I think if you've ever suffered a loss, of a person, not my lost shoe or whatever, although you never know, might be really important shoes. But if you've lost a person in your life, then I think this film will really speak to your heart. I was teary in a lot of places. It was a really real depiction of grief and what happens in relationships, because it's not just the loss of the person, it's the loss of the relationship that you had while that person was around. And it's about how to get back to how to have a relationship after a loss like that. Chris O'Dowd has come a really long way since the IT Crowd, and I absolutely loved his performance in this.
Okay, so now, turn it back on again.
A lot of the times when we review content, there'll be a section where we talk about who it's pitched at. And for once, I think this is pitched at us. This is parents, young parents, old parents. It's just people generally who have kids will understand there's like these top 3 fears: house breaking in when people come in and break in, or a loved one not being able to reach another loved one during a Mother Nature epidemic, or losing one and then having to live through that. And so I think the people that have experienced that, or even not have, but just have that in your mind as a parent, you will have that in your mind. That is a fear that none of us want to go through.
No.
So it really touches on that well, and then it shows you that kind of life afterwards, how that would look like. It feels very real the way the dialogue sometimes comes across in certain films like this can be. It just feels Hollywood.
Yeah.
This one, the script just felt really real. There was a moment where one of the lines, I said, well, that hit home, because there was a reference to a certain pop culture character that was in the now that I referenced. Because of my age demographic, I understood that. And it was like, wait a minute, I remember that. And so that just gives you an idea of the script feeling very well polished and realistic to the demographic that they're pitching at. That's not to say that people that are outside of that demographic won't enjoy the performances here, because honestly, Melissa McCarthy and Chris O'Dowd really hit it home here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're nervous about Melissa McCarthy, I can understand, because sometimes you'll watch her comedies and you'll be like, I can't handle this. There was a puppet one that she did recently that was awful. And I think she will say it herself. She probably gave everything she had, but what she had to work with wasn't great. And she's done a few comedies like that. But of late, when she's getting into her drama, she's excellent. If you saw the 9 Strangers or something on Hulu and Disney with Nicole Kidman, she was excellent in that. She also did a drama when she was a writer. She was excellent in that. So this definitely seems to be more of her niche when it comes to acting. She kind of hits it out of the park, really. I don't know why I'm doing baseball.
I don't know.
She's got a home run. We don't even play baseball yet.
No, we don't.
But yeah, their performances were great. On the side, there were other actors, one particular, Kevin Kline, who was excellent.
Yeah.
Like, every time he was on screen, I wanted more from his character, actually, during the film. I wish I knew more about him. They don't explain everything. You kind of have to figure it out for yourself. There is a storyline with him. He used to be a psychologist, now he's a veterinarian. A veterinarian. And you want to know more, and it leaves you to figure out. Which is fine. I was like, well, I guess you don't need to know all of the answers. That's also fine.
Yeah.
My negativity for this film, and I'm always trying to do balanced reviews, so I feel like I do need to kind of say, hey, if you get annoyed with montages, you might find this annoying, because there are at least 5 musical montages during this film, and the sound quality is wrong.
Yeah.
It just is. So they have a really heightened sense of, we're going to turn up the volume for this musical montage, just in case you didn't get that this is the musical montage bit.
And it's because they are songs with lyrics as well, and they obviously felt like the lyrics had something to add, a message to add to the film in that moment. And so they cranked up the volume so you could hear the lyrics. But then you're just playing with your remote the whole time. Every time the music swells, you're like, oh, God, turn that down.
I also honestly don't think it added to the film. I really don't. I think twice would have sufficed if that's the way you wanted to go with it. By the third, fourth and fifth time, I kept on thinking Dawson's Creek. That's the sort of cheesy love romance song that they were putting in there in that moment. And that's not the right kind of genre or teen angst series that you want in your mind when you're watching this film. So that's my one major negativity. But that doesn't detract from what the story is. It's beautifully told. It's wonderfully acted. It's well shot. So I don't remember seeing anything that was wrong with it, but it also doesn't stay in the forefront of my mind going, that blew me away. No. But that's not saying that the film isn't well shot. If there's nothing wrong with it, then you don't notice it, which means it's good. The same can normally said with score and soundtrack. Not so much with the soundtrack this time around.
Yeah. I mean, the cinematography didn't get in the way of the message, because sometimes that can happen when the cinematography is so good or so unusual that it actually distracts you from what the story is trying to tell you. But that's not the case in this one.
There is an actor, Timothy Olyphant, that is massively underused. I feel like they called in a favour for him and just said, would you mind doing this? Maybe one of them knew each other and said, please play this part. Because if you know Timothy Olyphant, he's actually a pretty high-class actor. He does really meaty roles. This was really a bit part. Like, he's hardly in it. Yeah. And he comes across as a sleazeball manager, just kind of like...
Very generic.
Yeah, very generic. There was nothing there for him to portray, which is really weird, because I do love him. I think he did that Netflix series with the zombies.
Santa
Clarita's Diet. Yeah.
Something like that.
Loved that. I was so gutted when it was cancelled. So seeing him pitch up for like a bit part like that was just, I was like, And so, but you do have a great cast. There's a young kid in this. So he's not so young. He comes across young.
He's also from Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Ah, that's right. Yeah. And he is fantastic as well. I do wonder, there must have been a conversation there where they've had,
connection.
Hey, bring him along.
Yeah.
All in all, it's actually a really good film. So even with that annoying soundtrack bit, I'm still going to give it an A-. I was thinking B+, but I think it's just so heartfelt. It's so well done. You get the message that you want to say. The performances are great.
Performances are really good.
What are you going to give it?
A-.
Hey, high five.
We're so married.
Let us know in the conversation below. What is your favourite type of film like this, where it's heartfelt, where characters go through really something that is hard to go through, but then go on a journey afterwards. There's lots of these type of films. This is one of the newest ones I've seen. I don't know that there have been many like this in 2021, especially because they're basing it on that novel. If you've read the novel, let us know how it compares. Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember,
live long and Tuesday.